In this video, we're going to describe customer relationship management. So what is customer relationship management? Short for in terms of CRM. So it is in terms of the process of building and maintaining profitable customer relations by delivering superior customer value and satisfaction. Essentially, customer relationship management itself is building a form of relationship and links between the seller and in terms of the customer. The aim of it, of course, you want to have repeat purchase, and forming in terms of a relationship will provide this opportunity for the customer to revisit and also to provide in terms of positive word of mouth for their friends and families, and to actually have opportunity to capture further value from the customer. So on this itself, looking at CRM, we have some concepts. We have what we know as the customer perceived value. It is the evaluation of the difference between the benefits and costs of a marketing offer relative to those of competing offers. So when we look at in terms of a product itself, when we go shopping, often than not, we have what we know as a perceived value. The perceived value differs amongst us. Some of us will look at a product with a higher perceived value than others based on your experience and based on your expectation. So on that itself, the customer perceived value is important to a business to see in terms of how they can actually position the product to the customer. And on this itself, with the perceived value, we can then look at customer satisfaction. This is the extent to which a product's perceived performance matches a buyer's expectation. Performance matches a buyer's expectation. And notice the word that says there, perceive. So it all lands in terms of perception. If your perception of the product itself has in terms of a very high perception, and on that itself, if it does not meet in terms of your expectation after you have purchased it, you will be of course dissatisfied in terms of your experience. However, your perception itself, if it matches in terms of your expectation, this is where you have customer satisfaction. And if you go a bit further, if you actually deliver more than what you promise as a business, you achieve what we know as a customer delight. You not only satisfied, you delight the customer, whereby in terms of the customer perspective, the expectation in terms of the value they want out of it far exceeds their perceived performance. Looking at in terms of capturing value from customers, we have a couple of ways that we can define. First, we look at what we know as a customer lifetime value. This is the value of the entire stream of purchases that the customer will make over a lifetime of patronage. So when we look at in terms of the customer itself, we look at in terms of how they will spend across the timeline with you as in terms of the business itself. So in terms of the lifetime value itself, for instance, in this case of the supermarket, we not only look at a shopper coming to the supermarket, we look at in terms of how frequent they will come, how in terms of much they will purchase each time, do they bring along in terms of their family members or friends, and this is what I meant by in terms of a lifetime value to the organization. And on this itself, competing with the others in terms of competitors, we have what we know as share of customers, the portion of the customer purchasing that a company get in its product category. So you go to any in terms of shopping mall, for instance, talk about fashion, there are many brands out there. So the question for the company is now, what is their share of customer? In terms of, for instance, the fashion category, how much in terms of the customer purchasing that the company gets in its category? Lastly, we have what we know as customer equity, the total combined customer lifetime value of all the company's current and potential customers. So recall in the earlier video we talked about markets, and markets have both in terms of existing as well as potential in terms of buyers. And on this itself, looking at the customer equity for a firm, we not only look at who are their current customers that are buying from them, we also look at who will be their customer in terms of potential customers. And on that itself, the lifetime value of both each in terms of current and potential will form what we know as the customer equity for the organization. So on this itself, we have described in terms of the customer relationship management, looking at the various concepts that ties in terms of with the CRM, or otherwise known as your customer relationship management. I see you in the next video.